Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Ballin' with Bash and Ted. You can catch us every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm Ted of Ted Talks Ball. This is Bash of 49er Minded, and together we are Ballin' with Bash and Ted. How are you doing this fine, faithful Friday, Mr. Bashar?
Doing a lot better now that we're going live. We had a little hiccup trying to set up the live stream, and it's all StreamYard's fault. They wouldn't let us sync to Twitter. And that once I removed the Twitter thing, we were able to go live. So there you go.
Yeah, for any content creators that are watching, keep in mind that normally when you're the guest of a show, you're able to stream to your YouTube channel and to Twitter. For whatever reason, the last two times I've been going live with Aaron, I couldn't stream to my Twitter. And now that I'm hosting this one, Bash wasn't able to go to his Twitter. Maybe there's only one Twitter per feed. And if the host uses it, maybe the guest can't. Maybe that's the way it works now. But it's a new thing. It's only been happening for a couple of weeks. But if other creators have been having problems, it's good to know. It's also good to know, hey, there, speaking of the devil, there's Aaron. I just streamed with him just a minute ago, 49er Firearms First Takes. And it's funny, when these things happen, I was like, did Aaron make it so I couldn't stream Twitter? I was like practically blaming him.
Oh, his fault.
And so I'm glad to know it wasn't actually Aaron, jamming me.
Something going on.
They seemed like something he would do.
But that's how my admins are watching. They gotta fix this problem.
That's how my mind works sometimes. So let's chat about other people in the chat. We got Red Jet Shell saying hey to the chat. Happy New Year. She says, let's go. Let's do this. Yeah, we had some those are the technical difficulties. I say that sometimes it's not technical difficulties when I say that, but today it really was.
Sometimes we're just late.
Yeah, sometimes we're just late. Raphael 562 in the house says, what's up, Ted, Bash, and everyone? And it wouldn't be Raphael if he didn't say like and subscribe, everyone. Thanks, Raphael. It's good to know that, we are streaming to Bash's YouTube channel and mine. So if you could give us both a like and a subscribe, it would really help us. And if you could indeed even watch on both channels at the same time, you can open up, if you're watching on a browser, you can open up a second tab and give us a watch. I'll do the same as I ask us to do and get Bashar's channel up here on my secondary tab. But really helps us. So thanks in advance for that. And then let's see here. There's some other folks here that I want to call out in the chat as well. But I'm just getting to Bash's live. And here we go. Got him up. There we go. That way we just get more view hours, and that's what really helps. After you hit your subscriber thresholds, the view hours what really get you paid in this business. So Jimmy Presenhouse saying, what's up, Ted and Bashar? Better now that you're here, Jimmy. Saying hi to each other in the chat. I'll try and show all the chats, even if I don't respond to all of them. E. Kim in the house. Verrett injury really sucks. Feel bad for him. Yeah, he hurt his shoulder. He's out for the rest of the season. Season barely getting started for the poor guy. I said in my earlier stream with Aaron that he played a game, but really he didn't. I think he played like 8 plays, and then I guess got injured in practice today or yesterday. But bummer for him. Not unexpected, I have to say. It's sad to say that, but he is kind of Mr. Glass. And but nonetheless, it's always sad, especially when a player gets injured, especially when that could be it for their career. We kind of said that last year, didn't we, Bash? Like we thought last year.
I mean, like when we signed him, I wasn't like jumping for joy or anything like that, but I was like, okay, cool. Hey, it's good for the depth purposes, and maybe we might get some good mileage out of him. Why not? Screw it. Let's just do it. And he's a good locker room guy, and everybody was so happy to see him, and they're all giving him hugs after one of our victories when they first signed him. But then other people were like, oh, well, he always gets hurt. And I wasn't necessarily thinking of that. I didn't want to be negative about him, but it just sucks. It's like, oh God, here we go again. Like if this isn't a sign that he should just hang it up, I don't know what is. I mean, I don't want to be a jerk or whatever, but
no, I mean, a lot of people last year said he should become a DB coach. And I saw McNiner saying that again today. I think that would be a smart move for him. A lot of the DBs on our team said that he was very helpful in helping them to elevate their games. I think Lenore gave him a lot of credit. So E. Kim with the joke. He said this weekend is stress free. Same with the game next week because there is no game next week.
Yeah, I saw a video clip of on Twitter of Deshaun Goldson practicing with the DBs and he was running around doing some type of drill with them, whatever. It's like, okay, well maybe we could suit him up because it's what I forget the dude's name, the guy that we drafted,
Jair Brown.
Yeah, since he got hurt and we had to bring in Logan Ryan and whatever. It's so annoying with all these damn injuries. I hate it so much. So dumb.
Sounds like George Odom was getting close to coming back though, so that was some good news.
Yeah. Darwin's Raven is in the chat.
What's up, Darwin's Raven?
Yeah, man. All because of him. We have a huge rift in our 49er fan community about losing that damn Ravens game. People just at each other's throats over it, man. I just take it as a regular loss, but
who's at each other's throats? I didn't even know.
Just dumb people on Facebook, dumb people on Twitter saying stupid things about the Niners. And they claim to be Niner fans. Like, okay, we're not. Who said? I never said we were going to go undefeated. I don't think any team ever said they were going to go undefeated this year. So we lost the game. Okay, let's move on. Let's try to win the rest of them. But whatever.
Shell says you're also streaming on IG. I don't think so. It doesn't
I'm
look
not.
like
Are you?
Looks like 2 times. No, it looks like both our YouTube channels and my Twitter X.
But is she asking for also? I think she's just asking.
Okay. We probably should be because I think there's that capability now on streaming.
There is, yeah. But you have to set it up beforehand.
Yeah. Sucks for him for sure.
So how was your Hawaii trip?
It was nice. It was really nice to be over there. Great weather, great food, lots of great fresh fish. What I tell everybody is that a vacation without childcare isn't much of a vacation when you have a 3-month-old and a 3-year-old. The 3-month-old kept my wife up all night, and then I would take over in the morning and cook breakfast and feed the boys and everything, and then take my little one for the day to the pool and stuff. But it's definitely not as relaxing as it would sound. We're happy to be home. I'll just say that, to where we have childcare during the daytime, and we still are getting at least last I knew we're getting some night nurse help at night. It really helps because my 3-month-old son had my wife up every night from like 3 a.m. to 6 a.m.
I can only imagine trying to go on a vacation with a brand newborn. That must have been very challenging.
The nice part is like they let you board the plane first when you have a child under 2, but it's like this is the reward you get for going on vacation with a child you shouldn't take on vacation.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys pull that off.
The way it works. The way over, the flight attendant took Andrew, my young son, and like walked him up and down the aisle for about an hour and a half of the flight. So that really helped too. So Raphael says sucks for sure going to retire. Got Beto in the house. He says hola a todos. Hello to everyone.
Niners sickness. I saw him last night with he had that Ramilia guy on. Oh man, that
must have been interesting.
You know what he does? He's just a drama. He's just a drama queen. He'll just go on. He was on Beto's channel, just going back and forth about well, the media doesn't trash Kyle Shanahan enough, and the media always trashed McVay last year, and blah 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 blah. It's like he brings up all these like irrelevant topics to what's happening this season. You know what I mean? Like, and on top of that, like the Rams, I was playing the Rams this week. Obviously, this game means nothing. This is basically a late season preseason game. That's how I look at it. But he just kept trying to bring up all these stupid topics that had nothing to do with what the 49ers are doing moving forward. But I don't know. I don't know, man. He's Beto's friend, I guess. But I'm not. It's like whatever, dude. I kind of got a few laughs out of watching it, though. I'm right. I'm always right. Damn it. Just kidding on that.
Seems like
I could be wrong. So I could be wrong.
Seems like Ramilia, Sports Report, and Rombo are like buddies too, because they're always arguing on the timeline, like just like threads that are just like 30, 50 tweets long, just back and forth.
I refuse to go back and forth with people. I went back and forth earlier today on Facebook for the first time in a long time, and I'll do it once in a blue moon, but you rarely see me going back and forth on Twitter or Facebook. If you do, it's just one of those rare moments.
There you go. Got Paul Hope in the house. He says, "What's up, everybody?
Keep
What's
hope
up,
alive."
Welcome." For those who don't know, Paul is the VP of the 49ers Faithful UK, the flag that I fly proudly there.
You got to meet him, right? At the
got to
Tampa
meet
Bay
him at
game?
the Bucks game. Him and Lee Galland and hey Paul, I have a funny story for you. So all right, so here's so we were at the Niners game and at Levi's, and there's like me and John Chapman and Ty Alston, and I think John brought a buddy. So it's probably like 4 Yanks and like 36 Brits from the UK, all there. And I got to meet like Alex Simpson, and I got to meet I'm blanking on his name right this second now too. Anyway, this guy had blocked me on Twitter, and I was like, "Hey, why'd you block me?" And he's like, "Oh, it must have been a mistake." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, you lying sack, And guess what happened to me this vacation? I'm sitting there with my son. He gets a hold of my phone, and he freaking blocks Breezy on my phone. And
Wayne Breezy, the 4-9 preacher.
Yeah, so like I follow Breezy, he follows me. So all of a sudden he's not following me anymore. I go and follow him back, and I'm like, oh shoot, the DM groups, because we're in all these DM groups together. And when you block somebody and you're in the same DM group as them, they get kicked out of all the DM groups you're in too. And so I had to go re-add them back to the DM groups, and I messaged them. And I'm like, hey, Breezy, I'm so sorry. My son blocked you. And so maybe that's what happened with that member of the 49ers 50K. I mean, if he has a little one, yeah, it's pretty plausible that could be what happened. I just thank God that I saw right after it happened, I saw somebody got blocked, and I like went through and checked. Otherwise, I might not even know it happened for a long time. It might have been a total mystery, but it was, I was cashing in receipts. Absolutely. But now I can see that there's other ways it can happen. It can accidentally happen, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So that whole thing of like we're saying he was full of it, maybe he really was. Maybe it really did happen by accident. So we'll see. Yeah, Neil. That's right. It was Neil Graham. Exactly. I was blanking on his name there for a minute. But yeah, that could be what happened. If he has little ones, he has a definite plausible deniability to blocking me on purpose. Got Ryan from No Border Sports in the house. And what up, everyone? What up, Ryan? I was lucky enough to get to do a stream with Ryan over there on Tuesday. I got to do one with Aaron last week, but those are my only 2 streams when I was there. I tried other days, and it's just like I said, when you don't have childcare, like the expectation is like whenever my wife isn't up in the middle of the night with the kids, like I've got them the rest of the time. And so just couldn't get many streams going over there. So I'm happy to be back on with Bash now that I'm back. I snuck in Aaron on an unusual time today just before this show, and it's so good to be back. We got Bebop Jones in the house. He's saying go Niners.
He's a bebopper.
Bebop. Coming to us from
I apologize. My bad copy and paste job on my title. I was doing everything in a rush. Basically, I literally was doing everything in the last minute and put Commanders by accident and copy and pasted the wrong thing. And there you go. It says Rams now. If you refresh the stream, it will say Rams. So
nice.
Thank you. Shout out to the Shaw Show. You
can always finish it when the show's over too. You can always
Yeah. Shout out. It's already fixed.
As long as you get done within the next few hours. Or really
Shaw Show's the one who caught it. So
there you go. Bebop till you drop. Bang bang Niner gang. We got 187 in the house. He's been on here a few times.
Oh yeah.
He was on earlier too. So welcome 187. Big Purdy fan. Probably saying Purdy MVP, Purdy elite would be my guess. Do you think Purdy should be MVP, Bash?
Do I think Purdy should MVP? He was definitely in the conversation. To many people, I'm not like a big. Honestly, for me watching football all these years, I've never been a big guy who like sits at the TV on the edge of my couch. Who's going to win the MVP? Who's going to win the MVP? It was never a big deal for me, honestly. But it was always like something extra. And 49er players never win it anyways. Maybe that's probably why I never got into it like other fans do. But Purdy, in general, Purdy is having an MVP type season now. I know he's not going to get it though, because when he went head to head against Lamar Jackson, that was the media's barometer to say, hey, these are the two top teams facing each other, and the MVP candidates are playing CMC, Lamar Jackson, Purdy, and out of nowhere, Purdy, it just sucked because 4 picks or whatever, and 2 of them were bad throws. One of them was a much worse throw than the other, actually, and it was just one of those weird games where the ball was bouncing around all crazy and yada yada yada. So it sucks because a lot of people thought they still think Purdy should win, but I just don't think he will, because I know how the media is. I know how they favor the East Coast teams. I know how they favor East Coast players, and they'll just throw it and give a dog a bone and throw it to Lamar Jackson, call it a day probably. Well, unless Tyreek Hill gets it, I don't know. But and then hey, right, Lamar Jackson had a killer game against the Dolphins, right? We can't forget that he had a much better game against the Dolphins than he did the Niners. To be honest with you, we spot we were really loose and sloppy. When you're that sloppy with the football in any football game, regardless of who you play, you're gonna freaking lose that game. So, we just happened to lose on the biggest stage of the whole season, unfortunately. So that the MVP, voting, that they do take all those things into consideration. I don't think CMC is gonna get it, and I don't think Purdy's gonna get it either. So, but sure, it would be cool if one of them got it, because they're both Niners. But again, I'm more worried about what the team does than individual awards.
Yeah, I was CMC for MVP all season, but I definitely had Purdy catching up. I mean, I thought he deserved to be in the conversation. I felt like the Ravens game knocked him out, especially just because Lamar's in the conversation and then Lamar won. And Lamar won with less. Like, let's face it, like Lamar didn't even have Mark Andrews, right? He had Isaiah Likely. He had a rookie, Zay Flowers. He had a pretty much washed OBJ. So it's not like he had the same kind of weapons that Purdy had in that game. And again, defenses make a big difference. Rest makes a big difference. The Ravens had huge advantages on those with our injuries and stuff. But I don't think he deserves MVP. But he's had a hell of a season, and pretty incredible for just his first full season to be leading the league in all these statistical categories, regardless of how good our weapons are, regardless of how good our D is or our run game. He's done a hell of a job, especially with his deep ball. I couldn't be more proud of him. Got a jersey rocking over there. I've worn it on a few streams now already. That was courtesy of Nancy Cameron here, who is saying hello and Happy New Year. Thank you, Nancy, for the Purdy jersey. Kittle came by way of the home boss, my wife. And so Steve Young is probably on retirement here for at least a little bit, probably for good, I would imagine. I try to not wear current players' jerseys. But when you get them as gifts, what are you going to do? I'm not going to insult the people who gave them to me.
Hey, I'd love to have a gift like that too. Hey, send all the jerseys you want down my way. Let me know.
There you go. What size do you wear?
Maybe I should start shitting all the players and get jerseys for them.
There you go.
I guess that was your strategy.
Well, no, come on. I didn't S on Purdy. I had doubts about him this summer about whether he could throw a deep ball. He's proved me wrong this year.
His deep ball is way better than it ever was
this year than last year. I mean,
and my main doubt was just that he was coming off of a major injury.
I'd be like, Lance, who? What? Yeah, I mean, exactly. But it looked a lot different in training camp when Purdy looked worse than last year in training camp.
You were at all those days where Purdy was throwing all those picks. It's weird because the one day I went, Lance was looking really bad and he was throwing all the picks, and Purdy was looking really, really good. But that was the only day I went though, and that was the last day that was open to the public. So
yeah, no doubt. And Darwin's Raven had asked how many starters are we sitting this weekend, and really the only one that we've announced is Purdy. But I think we'll see about a quarter to a half of the starters, and then I think we'll sit most of the key starters and superstars for the second half. Darwin Levi is his name, but Darwin's Raven is his handle. So how many we're sitting? Technically, just him. Armstead is out. And what's so funny? Damn, somebody got Bash gone.
It's one of the comments. I'm not gonna say which one it was.
Okay. No, I like it. That's good. Let's get back to some of the comments here too, because I'm falling behind. I don't want to get hopelessly waylaid. We got Jess from East Coast Red and Gold. Should be glad to know that I did my Purdy ranking this week. So
can we say this? Can I throw this out there?
Yeah.
I think Jess is probably I don't know. She probably has like the world record for taking pictures with Kittle and Kyle Shanahan and with a whole bunch of other players.
Oh yeah. And Kittle wishing like her and her mom happy birthday. And
I mean, I think Kittle knows you by now. He probably knows your name, your address, or whatever. I don't know. He just like you meet him all the time. It's like
she's incredible, no doubt about it. I'll be there. That'd be fun for a London game, no doubt about it, Paul. Mr. Joe in the house. Let's be honest. Lamar Jackson's the MVP and way more valuable his team than Brock Purdy to his team. Plus Lamar balled out against 49ers and
balled out. He balled out.
He played well. He balled out more than next week.
Shitty throws at times.
He did. He did look.
We didn't take advantage of those. We didn't take advantage of those.
He looked uncatchable against this.
No, but at times he had some really, really shitty throws, and we didn't capitalize on it. We didn't get the picks. The ball didn't bounce our way, and Ravens
I definitely think it was
on every opportunity they had. Go ahead.
I'll definitely take us healthy over them in the Super Bowl.
Okay, let me ask you this. I won't just ask you this. I want everybody in the chat to participate because since you brought up the whole MVP thing. I told you it's not a big deal for me, but I would say it's a big deal for the team. Who's more important for the team, or who's more relevant, whatever for the team. Would you rather have okay, let's just say this. I would rather have Purdy as our quarterback over not having CMC. Because I've seen this team not necessarily have the same results without CMC, but I have seen this team do a decent job with running backs in a collective committee form, you could say. More so than I've ever seen this team do well with a quarterback, and I'll take the L of losing a CMC, and then have Brock Purdy as a quarterback. And I don't know who would you guys rather? Because I wouldn't want Darnold as our starting quarterback and have CMC, as a running back. I don't know what you guys would do though.
Yeah, I mean, people talk about Josh Johnson in the NFC Championship game, and that's different because Josh Johnson's not that
was like the weakest.
He's not a starting QB. He's not even really a backup QB. I think he's third string on the Ravens now. Darwin's Raven was telling me that when he was on Levi.
Yeah, I would honestly, the moment they signed Josh Johnson, I almost yelled at my phone. I was like, "What? Like this guy's been in the league for God knows how long, and he's never been good ever. Why are we bothering with this guy? Wasn't there a better backup we could have signed?"
I'll take Purdy and Elijah Mitchell and JP Mason over Sam Darnold with all three running backs.
Okay. So you agree with me? Okay.
Yeah.
If the people in the chat want to chime in, go right ahead.
I mean, CMC is our MVP. He's incredible, but Purdy is.
And I'm just saying that before
with
CMC,
with Darnold, but yeah, I mean, if you're talking
before
about
CMC came along, we did have some success here and there with running backs. It was a mix and match type of game, and a lot of guys got hurt. A lot
was Mostert.
Yeah. Mostert and Breida and Jeff Wilson.
He's obviously
Elijah Mitchell
also made
the year, and then no, it's good. I really hope Elijah Mitchell stays healthy, man. He finally looked good this last game. He got a grunt to the carries towards the end, and
like a lady, Kyle revealed nothing. He said, "My theory is Kyle didn't give a flying F about the Rams game."
No, he would have won that.
I do think he played vanilla.
Really?
Yeah, and I do think
why though?
Because in case we do meet him in the Super Bowl, I just think that he wanted them to be overconfident and not like thinking.
Okay, but here's the deal: I'm not one for moral victories because we obviously lost, and people talk all this smack. Oh, you guys lost, Purdy sucked, and blah 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 blah. At the end of the day, you can say we sucked all we want. You can say we lost all we want. We outgained them. We put up way more yards than they did on a really good defense. So, again, I don't want to say woulda, coulda, shoulda, but if you hold on to the football, you have a much better chance to win the game. So, who knows if we face them again? Who knows who we face in the playoffs? Who knows what happens? I don't know. I'm not one to make guarantees, and I know a lot of crazy things can happen. But do I feel confident about this team? Yes. Do I think this is the best run that we've had in quite some time with a quarterback that I feel way more confident than I ever did? I'm talking like comparing to Garcia. I feel better about this quarterback than Garcia. Almost as good as I did with Steve Young. So I'm more than excited about what's going to happen in the playoffs. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is the best Kyle's offense has looked, except for maybe 2016 Falcons. I don't know if you saw that tweet about the 2016 Falcon offense versus the 2023 Niners offense.
No, I didn't see. I was curious. I'm curious to look that
they're
up.
literally like a yard apart in net yards. And
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's just that we have about 200 or 300 more yards rushing. They had about 200 or 300 more yards passing.
Okay, interesting.
TDs are almost the same. I mean, everything's almost the same.
Oh,
it's
wow. Okay, I just thought that Falcons offense would have put up way more numbers than we did, and not that we didn't have a good season numbers wise this year with our offense. Okay, good to hear. Good to hear. Well, what I was hearing, I forgot the exact stat line, and I'm not a big Dave Lombardi guy, but he did put out some stat, and I wish I could have wrote this down and memorized it properly. I'm probably not doing it justice, but he put out some stat that, if I can remember how he said it, he said there was some metric that involved some type of big play pass or whatever. Like I think it meant like passes over 25 yards that were constituted as big plays, and it was something like 16% of the offenses. Of our offense's plays are big play type plays, and he was saying that the only team that really matched up with what we were doing in terms of having 16% of our plays being big type plays were he said it was the greatest show on turf. He said the only team that was comparable was the greatest show on turf. I was like, whoa, really? Okay, we're up with those guys and on their level, and I think that's pretty good. But now I have a new argument though, because people's like, oh well, Brock Purdy has all the weapons. He has all the weapons. He's not good. Everybody else around him is good. But my argument is this though: none of our wide receivers made the Pro Bowl, so they're good. They're really good wide receivers, but they didn't make the Pro Bowl. So other teams have better wide receivers.
Ayuk and Debo both deserved it. It's just because we have so many fewer pass attempts. You know, of the top quarterbacks, they're all over 500 pass attempts. Mahomes is almost 600. Brock's only 444. So, we just don't get as many targets as the other teams do. So that per target, our receivers both deserve to be there, in my opinion. We got Jason, Captain, Niner Massey in the house, and Talofa Faithful, hello Faithful, and Samoan. So Randy says, no one with a brain or eyes is going to say Jimmy Garoppolo will be running this team the same way. No.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Jimmy was similar to last year's Brock Purdy. This year's Brock Purdy is heads and tails better than Jimmy Garoppolo, no doubt about it.
But even last year, though, I know Jimmy at one point was putting up good numbers when we brought CMC. The eyeball test just told me last year that Purdy was still better than Jimmy, even last year's Purdy.
Yeah, no, I said at least a little bit better, but I mean, their stats were a lot more similar than people. Plus, it's hard to separate. Like, a lot of the year we didn't see Jimmy with CMC, and so a lot of people have trouble separating the CMC games.
But I'm just saying, but we've seen Jimmy for a long, long time, and I never saw Jimmy handle the blitzes the way Purdy did right off the bat. But
Jimmy was a better first read quarterback, and Purdy's improved that this year too. So,
and then the scrambling ability. I mean, right off the bat, Purdy's scrambling was better. So
much better.
And Jimmy might have a stronger arm actually.
I thought so last year. This year, I don't know. I think Purdy's arm.
I mean, it could be even, but at the end of the day, it's not necessarily about strength. It's about who has a more efficient deep ball, who's more efficient when you are throwing deep. And now it's like Purdy's deep ball efficiency is really, really good. And this is what I don't get, because the only game, in my opinion, where it was a dink and dunk game and Purdy could just sit back and relax and chug a beer and just, hey, Debo, go ahead. Short pass here. Go run like the Tasmanian devil, which was cool because it makes the quarterback's job easier. But the only game I could think of where that really happened, and it was all yak yardage and Purdy didn't do any work and everybody else did all the work for him. The only game that really stood out to me like that was the Eagles game. I can't think of any other game where Purdy was just like, okay, short pass here, boom, go run off and get a touchdown. Like, the Eagles game is the only game that stands out where it was easy for him.
Yeah, no doubt. Randy brings up a good point, and everyone likes to forget, the Ravens had 20 more rest days than we did by Christmas Day.
We had the least rest days out of any team.
On their way to 29 more rest days by the end of the season. We were a league worst -20. They were not league best, but fourth best in the league at +9 rest days. And gosh, how much did I talk about this in the off season, the early season, the lead up? And then somehow in my article last week, or 2 weeks ago, before the Ravens game, I talked myself into the Niners winning the game. But all along, I said we were going to lose. We're going to lose. It's why I picked us to go 11-6 and not 12-5. Was that one game? And then I talked myself into us winning. I think we were on a hot streak ever since the Bengals we were playing well. Purdy was playing elite. I've never said that Purdy is an elite quarterback, but I was saying that he was playing elite there for a while, and he was starting to look like it again a little bit in the later in the Commanders game. So hopefully he can get back to that. I hope to be able to say Purdy is elite before too long. It seems like it's coming. I just don't know if there's enough games left this season. We'll see.
I was going to say something I can't remember now. My season prediction. My season prediction was 12-5, and that might be our overall record. We'll see though.
But no, if we lose, you're set. I mean, we're at least 12-5, maybe 13-4. I mean, got Gammon Brown in the house.
What up, Gammon?
What's up, Gammon? Nice to see you.
How'd you like that Deebo Samuel's Brock Purdy vest? Did you see that? The Deebo Samuel wearing that Brock Purdy custom
I loved it. The MVP.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be MVP, but I love the players.
I forgot that it said MVP on it. Yeah, but it was a cool vest.
Yeah, it said Brock Purdy MVP. I love it. I love that. If the players feel that way, they should say it. And everybody has their own opinion, and if it doesn't agree with mine, that's fine too. And I don't think he's far off. And I did think for a while there, like I said, that he was getting close to. I mean, some of my shows were, and even like there's somebody said, should Brock Purdy be the MVP? At one point, I tweeted like, who else? Like, not because I thought he was better than CMC, but just because it's a QB award, and there was no other more deserving QB at that point, right before the Ravens game. I still all along have said I thought it should be CMC. But like I said, I pretty much knew almost no matter what he did, he wasn't going to win it. So in that case, give it to the best QB, and Purdy was the best QB there for a minute, and could be again before too long. We'll see. Like some people said, he'll just have to settle for the Super Bowl MVP. I'd be down.
Hey, whatever works. Hey, if CMC's MVP of the Super Bowl, Kittle's MVP of the Super Bowl, I don't care who the MVP is in the Super Bowl. If we win, I just want to win the damn thing, and we'll talk about MVP later and all that other stuff. But I was going to say, Purdy did get the most Pro Bowl votes out of any player in the league, which is very impressive.
Yeah, Purdy was number 1. CMC was number 2. Tua was 3. Kittle was 4, and Kelsey was 5.
There you go. So we had 3 in the top 5, which is very impressive.
Yeah, it's awesome. So glad to see Kittle up there. You know me. I've been saying for years that Kittle is the best tight end in the league, and he just needed a real QB. If you put him on the Chiefs, he'd do everything that Kelsey did, plus block and yak. And now we're starting to see a little bit of glimpse of that. Imagine if we had a pass blocking line and slung the ball around. Like I said, Mahomes has 597 attempts this season, Purdy 444, and Purdy's got way better stats. So imagine if Purdy had 150 more pass attempts. Again, not with this O-line, with the Chiefs O-line that can actually pass protect. Sorry, you're on mute, Bash.
Even compared to the great 49er passing seasons, whether it be Steve Young, the most yards he's ever passed in a season, Garcia, Montana, and in that Garcia season where he had the most yards, we were 6-10, and he was playing from behind a lot of those games. Like Purdy racked up these yards with way less attempts than Montana, Young, or Garcia. And if you compare to Garcia, because they both had, he had to edge out Garcia. He did it in 16 games just like Garcia did, and on top of that, in winning efforts and with way less attempts than all those other quarterbacks. So, yeah, I think it's very impressive, and hopefully he continues to be this guy. A lot of people think Purdy's never ever going to get better, and he's just going to suck the rest of his career, and this is the only year he's going to be good, and he has a low ceiling. He doesn't have a high ceiling. Blah 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 blah.
I said stuff like that in the offseason. I said that he was close to his ceiling because I never thought he would develop a deep ball like this. And so I was wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. Like I said, I'd rather be happy than right. And believe me, folks, I'm happy that Purdy is good. I want a good QB for the 49ers, even if it's not the guy that I picked in training camp. I want a good QB. That's the thing that some of these people don't understand when they grief me is like, when it comes to the other quarterback, I stopped rooting for him as soon as he became a Dallas Cowboy. And so name out of conversation. I'm blocking people on the timeline who bring up Trey Lance's name for no reason.
I supported Lance too. I mean, if your team gives up all the picks in the world and they sell you the idea that this is our next franchise guy, you're a 49er fan, you're going to support that guy and say, hey, I want him to be really, really good. And I wish I had a fucking YouTube channel in 2020. I wish I had a fucking YouTube channel in 2020. And I have friends who I could bring on the show who will vouch for me. Because a friend of ours introduced us to Brock Purdy in 2020 when Jimmy G got fucking hurt. And I, along with a whole bunch of other people, were telling people we need to get rid of this fucker Jimmy G. He's nothing for this fucking team. And Steve Young himself said before, don't expect Jimmy G to come back to the Niners after this season. And we hung around and we kept him around. We kept Jimmy around. And all it did was it just is the same old bullshit with Jimmy. Anyways, that year that Jimmy G got hurt in 2020 midseason, a friend of mine put me on to Purdy, and that was Purdy's junior year. And his team was actually doing much better his junior year than his senior year. And I was like, this guy's really cool. We could get this guy in the third round. This would be a nice quarterback to develop in the third round. We don't have to go in the first round and get him. And I was saying this fucking shit. And then people were like, oh, you're going to be a Cowboys fan now because Trey Lance went to the Cowboys. No, you motherfucker. I fucking liked Purdy way before I even knew who fucking Trey Lance was. I only knew who fucking Trey Lance was after the fact because Purdy didn't come out in the fucking 2021 draft. And then the organization sold us on the fucking on the Trey Lance pick, and they gave up all the fucking marbles to get fucking Lance. So I had to switch over to Lance. Did I have a fucking choice in the matter? I'm not the one who fucking drafts the fucking players. So I did fucking say I wanted Purdy way the fuck back then. For anybody that typed up some Cowboys bullshit on my fucking channel, you don't know your shit. I do.
Red Jets liking the bash rant, baby. Me too. I'm all smiles.
It's so dumb. I wish these people talked to me in 2020.
They should. Maybe they will now.
I mean, the organization changed my fucking mind. Is that my fault that they fucking gave up all the fucking picks in the world for Trey Lance? And then they didn't even bother to fucking develop him. And then lo and behold, we did draft Purdy. It was the weirdest fucking scenario. And the weirdness in the 7th round, the last pick of the draft, again, he was on our roster for the majority of the season, and nobody said that he was creeping up to become our starter. There were no fucking there was nothing. There were no leaks coming out that Purdy's kicking ass in practice or nothing. He was just on our roster. I was like, okay, he's on our team. Cool. He's on our team. If he gets a shot, he gets a shot. No big deal. But nobody said like, oh, he's on our team now, and he's going to be the greatest quarterback we've seen in a long, long time once he gets on the field. If you're that guy, talk to me, because even if I wanted him on the team, I never fucking said that because that's fucking stupid. You're just lying and making up bullshit. None of us knew Purdy was going to dominate and kick ass on the fucking field until he actually got onto the fucking field.
I remember a few. Like right when we drafted him, they were like, "Purdy's going to be the man." Blah blah blah.
No, I like Purdy, and I never went that far though.
Hold with much credibility.
I liked him, but I never went that far until I wanted to see what he could do in a real game first. Right. On the Niners in a professional game. Now, do I like the prospect and I like the pick? Yes. I was on my channel saying I liked it that we got him in round 7. We got great value on that pick. You can go back and watch the videos after the draft where I do fucking say that. But to say that, oh, he's good. I knew he was going to be the MVP of the a potential MVP all along. Like that's when people lie and make up bullshit. Like it's so stupid. I just want this team to fucking win. And on the flip side, I defend the fuck out of Purdy to fucking dumbass Niner fans who think he's not good enough for this fucking team. On the flip side, so that's it. That's my rant.
Get it? Whoo! Solid rant. I like it. We get one every month or so with Bash.
Dude, it's because I'm tired of the bullshit, dude. I'm tired of the bullshit. Like I'm not one to brag about my fucking self. I'm fucking humble. But if people want to make up bullshit and lies about me, I'm going to fucking defend myself.
Boom. Do it.
And if anybody wants to step up to me in real life, and I notice people tried to talk shit to me, you would never dare say that to my face. Try me. If you see me in real life, you'd be scared as shit. I'm the size of an NFL offensive lineman. So go ahead, try that. Try that right now.
Boom. Right here. See, Randy says, I just got lucky and watched a guy I know from the East Coast named Daniel Kelly. Oh, Daniel Kelly. Yeah, there were some wing nuts that were saying Purdy right from the beginning, so I didn't take it too seriously. There was something else too. Somebody was saying, oh, here, this is the one. How about them Niners? Y'all should take a peek at UCLA QB Colin Schlee film. Moves like Purdy, great scramble, great anticipation, and ball placement. Draft sleeper to keep an eye on for 7-round Purdy backup.
Well, maybe we'll move on from what's his face? Darnold.
I hope so. I
don't mind having him around, but if we could pay less to get a rookie that does just as good, if not better, why not have the cheaper option? You know what I mean?
Darnold is not the answer, and everyone will see why this Sunday. I'm calling.
But we don't. I mean, this game doesn't mean shit to me.
And that's not even with Aaron Donald in there or Ernest Jones. They're two best defenders.
Well, there's some Niner fans that were saying that Darnold's better than Purdy because he threw a touchdown against the Ravens. Are you guys this fucking stupid? Do you understand it was vanilla defense by the time that Darnold stepped in the fucking game? Like, we're so dumb, dude.
People are loving the rant. Oh, wait, here we go. Team Bashar all damn day. Anyone got a problem with Bashar? We all got a damn problem. Daniel Kelly loved Brock and even said he would take Trey's job. Oh, God. Daniel Kelly loved Jimmy Garoppolo, though, too. So, what are you going to do? Bashar is the realist. Absolutely. I was pretty stoked we got him. Can we go back and watch the NRF? It was about the draft. I watch a lot of Iowa State because the wife is Iowa. Ah, interesting. Did she go to either one of the schools or just grew up there maybe? Full paycheck on Bashar. Full effing paycheck. Dang, there you go. Just don't bet the rent money. Michelle, don't bet the rent money. Bill Walsh said, take a QB every year. Yeah, I think that there's some wisdom in that. Well, because, all right, earlier this season, and based off of last season, we kind of had, I don't know if it was just lost Bashar. I think he might have clicked out by accident because I didn't see anything in the private chat. Let me see if there's, I think he must have clicked out by accident. Plus, yeah, there he is. I was going to say, yellow.
I'm guilty. My mouse.
I was saying it must have been by accident.
I was clicking closing my Twitter tab and boom.
There you go.
I ended up closing my StreamYard tab. So,
yeah, all I was trying to say was, last year during the off season, early this season, there was talk of Purdy's good for right now. This is a big Twitter content creator war. I mean, basically, right? Isn't it Jesse Naylor versus I don't know, that other guy, the pig in a pickle dude. I can't remember his name. But
Larry Krueger, pig in a pickle, the best barbecue in Northern California. And the only sausage that I eat is a New York Italian sausage. New York style Italian sausage. That's the only sausage that I eat.
There you go. So
and I'm not getting paid to say that.
There you go. Yeah. So they had this beef about, Purdy. Jesse had said that, he thinks Purdy's a good quarterback for now, but he's not sure about the future. And Larry's like, oh, God, how can I be the quarterback now or not the quarterback in the future? And it's like, well, easy, Larry. He's making $800K, you dumb dunce. And when you pay him 50, 60 freaking $1 million a year, it's a different conversation.
So now it's your turn to get mad? Is that what you're doing?
I got a little saved up for that guy.
It's got to be real. Come on, man. You can't.
That is real.
Is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I said it on the timeline. I was like, you can very easily be the quarterback right now and not the quarterback of the future once you got to get paid all these millions of dollars and you lose all these weapons. And I'm not saying that that's the case for Purdy anymore. I even said that in my tweet. I'm not saying I believe this about Purdy, but you can be the quarterback now and not I kind of believed about Purdy back then. And this season, he's kind of changed my mind that he might be worth paying all that money.
Okay, let's talk about the weapons. Let's assume that we somehow lose Debo and IU because we're just a shit head of an organization and we don't know how to retain our players. Is Adam Peters gonna man our entire drafts now from A to Z? That's what I want to know.
I would hope so. That would be great.
I'm hoping so too because his lower round picks have been fucking excellent.
Yeah.
Now we finally have a draft. I mean, I rarely ever I never touch mock drafts in seasons that we hit the playoffs while the season's going on. But just for the simple fact that I saw that we had so many damn picks over the past month and a half, maybe 2 months, I've been tinkering around on these mock draft websites because it's so fun because we have hella picks this coming year. And I'm excited for that. And I love the players on our squad. And I know that there's a fact that many of those draft picks may not make the team because we have a loaded roster, but players do come and go as well. So I just want to know if Adam Peters is going to be doing all the first round pick, second round pick, third round, our early picks too. That'd be nice because I think people should, they get so negative. We never draft good first rounders. We never, screw that. We're going to draft a good first rounder, second round, and third rounder this time around, assuming Adam Peters is in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know for sure who makes what picks, but the general consensus is that Adam Peters makes a lot of the late round picks and Kyle gets involved in a lot of the early round picks that typically don't go so well, especially every third round pick not named Fred Warner. Jake Moody might be able to add his name to the list of third round exceptions, but I was saying third round running backs for a while, and I realized it's not just running backs in the third round. It's like every third round player does not work out for this team. And now TDP just got cut. So another third round, again, running back, but whatever, third round player that has not panned out for this team.
The third round running back. I was thinking that we'd finally overcome that. Not that I was super high on TDP, but I was thinking, okay, I know we drafted that one dude with Trey Sermon, right?
Yeah.
And he was a third rounder, and he had one good game with the Niners and did nothing after that. And then we cut him. We went to the Eagles, did nothing with the Eagles, and I was like, okay, whatever. Maybe we do something. Maybe we do fine with this TDP pick. Not that I was an amazing TDP fan, but I just thought he's a power runner and he could bring something different to our dynamic of running backs. And yeah, he's gone too. So who knows? Maybe we just stick to UDFAs, but I do want one of those speed freak running backs back in our system. Who was the guy that got hurt for the Ravens and then Devon A-Chain on the Miami Dolphins? Some guy like that. Why not? Or a big bruiser guy, kind of like the guy that the Ravens have. I'm blanking. I've been blanking on names a lot today. Sorry, guys. But just something different. Somebody that brings a different element to what we don't have. And somebody that's actually good that could actually make the roster and play 16 games and be a factor in our offense and be relevant. That'd be nice.
Mostert 2.0.
Who's Mostert 2.0?
We need one.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah. Trust me, man. I'd be all for it.
Yeah. Because CMC is super quick, but he ain't fast at all. So, yeah. That'd be huge.
He can be fast at times, but sometimes you'll see him get this burst and then bust a long run and then have daylight, and then it looks like he slows down. It's kind of weird. It's I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't have long speed. Pause. What else should we talk about? I mean, obviously the Rams are starting sitting a bunch of starters this week. There's some talk that the Rams don't want to win, that they want to lose to go to Jerry's World to play the Cowboys rather than win and go to Detroit to play the Lions. And I just thought of something. It could be not just the team that they match up best or worst against. Like, it could not just be that they're afraid of the Lions and they're not afraid of the Cowboys, but it could be that they're afraid of losing to Goff after trading him away and trading all those picks for Stafford.
I think that would be hilarious if they did so.
Wouldn't that be huge?
I would laugh.
I think that's it. I think that's it more than like, oh, we think we have this better matchup against the Cowboys than the Lions. Because I think they're kind of equal teams. I don't think there's a whole lot of difference other than the fact that it's Goff at the helm in Detroit. And when the Rams look like dummies, I mean, they got their ring, so they're not going to look like that big of dummies, but there's still a little bit of embarrassment. You trade 2 firsts and a third or whatever it was, and then you lose to Goff in the playoffs because the Detroit Lions use those picks to become a better squad, and your mercenary super team fell apart after you won the Super Bowl.
Very, very true. Very, very true.
these things, sometimes there's different angles to these things. It's fun to talk it out.
We got a fantasy football player here, Alberto. I suck at fantasy football. I just, you know why I suck at it? Because my whole team gets hurt when I play it.
I thought all fantasy leagues ended already, though. I thought.
I don't know.
I thought they assumed that half the top players are sitting week 18 anyway, so I thought they all ended week 17.
Are you playing fantasy this year?
Not me, no. I haven't played. It's been a minute. I played back. Let's see. I had a couple really strong teams. One of them was one where I picked. Who did I pick? CJ2K as a running back, Chris Johnson, and I picked Arian Foster, who were both studs, and then I picked up freaking Peyton Hillis off the waiver wire, and I had this three-headed monster of insane running. They're all
that back when Peyton Hillis was actually good?
plus yard running backs.
Was that what? Oh, that was you picked.
That was I picked Peyton Hillis. I picked him up
one good year.
The year he went off as a Cleveland Brown. So I had like 2 great draft picks and the waiver wire pickup of the year. It was so bad that they even changed the waiver wire rules in my league the next year because they called me the trapdoor spider because as soon as the window would open to grab free agent players, I would just within 5 seconds I'd have it all queued up on my browser. I just clicked the button right at the midnight or whenever 12:05 or whatever the time it was. And so they instigated a waiver wire situation where you had to go by your waiver order so that I couldn't steal all the best free agents after that. And then I had, I think, one more good year, and then I had a bad year. And it's like I didn't realize how much time I was spending on fantasy football until I had a bad team, and I stopped spending so much. Like I was even getting into weather reports and oh, well, they have a good defense, but is it their run defense? Is it their pass defense? And
I just think with fantasy football, it's like I'm on this phone as much as it already is.
Yeah.
And with fantasy football, it increased it like tenfold. So that was part of me walking away from fantasy football. The other part was the last year I was in it, like 80% of my playmakers got hurt. So it was pointless. And I was in a league with tons of people, and the waiver wire was just total ass. If your players go down, the waiver wire is just pointless. So I was just like, screw this. I'd rather just watch the games and watch my teams and do mock drafts and go that route.
Yeah, I mean, Alberto, I would probably go with JP Mason.
Sam Darnold.
Don't do it.
He's getting all the reps. He by default, he should.
Juszczyk will probably get some play, but he's not going to ever put up big fantasy numbers. I don't know, man. I don't know. Charlie Warner? Nah. I don't know. That's a really tough question. I'm going to say I don't know.
Do you have a concern about our pass rush by any chance? There's times I watch his team where I'm like, we got this guy, we got Bosa, Chase Young, whoever, and like, why are we not getting more pressure? Why are we not getting more sacks? Now, there was a period of time where it was looking great, but this last game, there were times where I was like, not so great. I mean, there was that, who was it? Mooney Ward had a really, really nice interception. I noticed Bosa was right about to smack the living daylights out of Sam Howell before he threw that. So cool. I saw pressure on that play, but no sacks for Bosa or Chase Young this past game.
No, Chase Young revenge game too. I got concerns about the pass rush, especially we didn't talk last week. I had concerns about Chase Young going deep on Lamar. Pause. The whole trick to the mush rush is no spin moves, no inside, outside moves. You just bull rush till you get to the depth of the quarterback, and then you wait for help to arrive, and then you all go together. You go for the sack. You don't go deeper than the quarterback and then just barely miss the sack and let Lamar escape out for his longest run of the game, which is what Chase Young did. And then I accused Chase Young of doing the same thing when Lamar escaped again to his left. This time, instead of scrambling, he threw the ball to Aguilar for the touchdown later in the game. And I accused Chase Young, and somebody corrected me on the timeline, it was actually Clelin Ferrell, but they both did the same thing. They both went deeper than Lamar. and you cannot pass rush past the depth of a mobile quarterback and lose your contain, your outside edge contain. And so I have issues with that. And then, yeah, just like you're saying, just overall pressures and sacks has been somewhat underwhelming. I mean, it's hard when you look at Chase Young. You want to look at like Ohio State, and you want to look at like number 2 overall draft pick. But the NFL reality is he's been injured, and when he hasn't been injured, he hasn't ever really lived up to that number 2. Obviously, while it's would the Commanders trade him for a 3rd-round pick? So, I think Chase Young and Randy Gregory were both good pickups. They're great values for what we paid for them in cap space and in trades, capital, but they were not. Neither one of them were world beaters. We wanted Montez Sweat, right? Montez Sweat was our first choice, folks. Let's keep that in mind, not Chase Young. And just like when we got Hargrave, our first choice was the Commanders' defensive tackle who's still there. I'm blanking on his name. Deron Payne, not Javon Hargrave. So I think just because he's a more complete defensive tackle, he can play the run better. So, yeah, I've got issues. I think part of the reason why our sacks got better there and pressures got better when they did was, our secondary was playing lights out. You had Lenore and Mooney Ward locked down. Or I guess Lenore had bumped inside at that point, and we had Ambry Thomas, who was playing really well, at least for him, on the boundary. You got Gibson, who's been really solid since the minute he got here. And then Jair Brown was playing, Huff was playing great. And then Jair Brown was playing, Huff wasn't playing great compared to last year, but great for a strong safety. And Jair Brown, for a minute, was stepping in and playing really well until the Ravens game. And then he had all these missed tackles. And I guess he had some before, they just didn't hurt us. And so, but he really started to look like a rookie against the Ravens, unfortunately.
Yeah. Chase Young was who I wanted. And I do like Montez Sweat as well. I was really, really happy about the Chase Young move and, with the Bosa connection and all that. And there's been point in times where that connection has been looking electric. And a lot of times the Niners weren't giving Chase Young a lot of reps in games that he was very effective in. It's almost like, I don't know if they were just trying to save him for the playoff run, or I'm not sure what the point was, but very few games there's been very few games as a Niner where Chase Young's been out on the field for a long time. But we'll see what happens in the playoff run. Hopefully him and Bosa step it up because they really need to. Same goes for Randy Gregory and Hargrave as well.
There you go. David McNair says if the Packers win and the Rams lose, Rams get the number 7 seed. If the Packers lose and the Sea Chickens win, Rams are number 6. I'd like to see the Seahawks miss the playoffs personally. Not that I'm afraid of them, but just because I hate the Seahawks. So I just don't want any chance of them doing anything good in the postseason. Paul Hope says, I won 1 out of my 11 leagues. Well, Paul, if you're playing in 12-person leagues, you're right on par. Right?
Okay, well, there you go. He's played in 11 fantasy leagues. Wow.
That's a lot.
Maybe if I played in 20 fantasy leagues, I finally win one. I don't know. Man.
Like I said, I won that year with CJ2K, Arian Foster, and Peyton Hillis. And then the next year I got second. But both years I split the money at the end to make sure that whether I won or lost, I still got half the pot of the big
a lot of times with fantasy football leagues too, maybe not so much in money leagues, but I noticed that a lot of people just like quit and just stop playing.
Just stop doing stuff. Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying about. So I guess that was my point. Like when I was good those 2 years, I got so into it. I was checking weather reports. I was checking defenses and how are they against the pass. Oh, is it going to be windy that day? And blah, blah, blah. It's so deep. And then like I had a bad year. I didn't quit. I didn't like stop doing my updates and let players play that were on buys and stuff like that. But like I just stopped getting so into it. And I was like, oh my God, I got all this time back. I'm like, I can have all this time back in general. And that's when I stopped playing fantasy. And also the Niners were getting good. And I was like, I didn't want to like, I hate when you're like watching a game and you're like, oh yeah, everybody can score except for Kittle because I'm playing against him this week, so I can't have Kittle score. I just want like to root for all my Niners every week.
That's another reason. That's another factor. Yeah. My Niner fandom supersedes
when
like
the Niners sucked,
anything that has to do with fantasy.
Whatever, who cares? When the Niners got good, I was like, nah, I can't root against my Niners. No matter
it is
what
it is.
So yeah, he said I did 54 leagues last year. Just no way. 54 leagues.
Who said that? Paul Hope? Oh wow, this guy.
This is before you were streaming.
I guarantee you that there's people out there. There's a lot more people out there like Paul than we believe. Yeah,
that's insane. Doesn't matter. All right. Dick Nasty keeps all the recipients. I keep receipts too.
You're trying to return things at Costco or what?
Oh, but we got Lee Gallen in the house. El Presidente said, "Hey Ted, what's up?" Devastating news about Barrett. So yeah, worst luck. Sad to see. Not really injuries. Surprised, but it's sad, and especially any injury is sad, especially season ending, and then compounded by could be career ending. That's brutal for sure. Real quick, we got CarCast
brutality.
Did y'all win your fantasy football chances? If so, how many? There you go. Post them up. But
if I was casting a movie like Superbad or like a teen comedy, high school kids comedy, coming of age type American Pie type movie, I definitely am CarCast in there. No pun intended.
There you go. Dick Nasty wants to know how he calls in. There's no call in on this show per se, but you can oh wow, that's nice. All right. You can always DM on Twitter or send me an email through my email account. But if you're going to use nasty language, I think we'll just get rid of it.
Well, he has nasty in his name. So.
Yeah, but then he's using the C word there. So I think we will. Oh, great. And it's from your channel. So you might want to handle that one, Bash.
Well, we're wrapping up anyway. So
yeah. Anywho, well, thanks everybody who came out. Obviously, no stress game this weekend other than hopefully we can keep everybody healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's a part of me that would love to be able to lord it over the Rams that we had swept them 5 seasons in a row, even if we didn't win that NFC Championship game. So hopefully that will happen without injuries.
Hopefully we play them in the playoffs and fuck them up and win the Super Bowl. How about that? I mean,
there you go. Man. There you go.
Time so they could shut the fuck up.
That would be nice if they made the playoffs and we knocked them out. It would be great for sure. But I definitely don't want to play the Rams. I don't want to play the Rams. I don't want to play the Packers. They're hotter. Both teams are hotter than some of the teams with better records, in my opinion. All right. Well, Bash, thank you. Thanks everybody who came out. We'll say peace and go Niners.
Niner fans. There you go. Go Niners.